Hello there, everybody. This is Mel Allen. It's time to give baseball a great big hand. The Minnesota Twins manhandled their opponents with some hand-to-hand combat. And let me tell you, there's no handcuffing this ball club. The San Diego Padres hand out a handful of handy pitching, and they've got hands-on experience for a grab at a second straight pennant. Gotta hand it to the Chicago White Sox. With all hands on deck, they've been handling themselves just fine, with no apparent handicaps. Handwriting on the wall for Cincinnati, a red-handed assault that is handmade for success and sealed with a handshake. So stay on hand for it all on This Week in Baseball. This week, the sizzling season. And man, you know everybody just likes it hot. Point is, hot stuff. Now on to Minnesota, where the Twins ruffled Blue Jay feathers. Cruising along in the West and closing in on first place, the Twins have relied on muscle to stay in the tussle. And they were all hustle when Toronto came to town. In Game 1, Kirby Puckett went 3 for 6 and became the first major leaguer to get 50 hits this season. Next night, Mickey Hatcher got his 50th hit. Although the Twins lost 3-1, they lifted their team batting average to the best in the big leagues, an even 300. Providing most of the power was Tom Brunansky, who tore up Toronto with 6 hits, boosting his average to 348, second in the league. Bruno also had 2 game winners, including one in extra innings. While offense played the key role for Minnesota, a tip of the hat also went to Pete Filson, who threw 2 1/3 innings of relief in Game 1 to pick up his first win of the season. Filson came back to score high marks again in Game 3, 7 2/3 innings of 3-hit relief for his second win, as the Twins took 2 out of 3 from the Eastern Division front-runners. Next stop, Chicago, where the White Sox roped the Rangers. On the south side of Chicago, there was a fresh flurry of flag fever because the Sox were looking mighty fine. When the Rangers rode into town, Chicago stayed on a roll with Carlton Fisk leading the way in the opener.
Hey! Hello! Put it on the board, upper deck, home run for Fisk.
A 3-run shot for Pudge, his first of 2 in the series. Richard Dotson delivered on the mound, handing Texas loss number 7 in a row. He gave the Sox their 8th win in 10 games to move within reach of first place in the West. Next night, new Ranger skipper Bobby Valentine witnessed a heartwarming effort from former Dodger Bert Hooton, who won his first American League game to give Valentine his first win as a manager. In the finale, it was hello to yet another first as White Sox rookie Darrell Boston broke out of an 0-for-17 slump with his first Major League home run. Boston's blast put the Sox on top 2-1. Greg Walker provided insurance with a 3-run homer, giving him a .310 average with 9 RBIs over a 5-game stretch. But it was more than just hitting that put the Rangers in a fix. Reliever Gene Nelson fixed them but good with 1 1/3 innings of no-hit ball, earning the win to go 3-1. New bullpen ace Bob James got save number 7, and the Sox appeared to have matters well in hand. Now, let's open the notebook for This Week in Baseball's Twib Notes from around the American League. Nothing excites a crowd quite like a home run, and we've got several bizarre tales of the long ball. We begin in the first inning of a game in Seattle where Jack Perconti hit his first home run in 990 at-bats. How about that? And the ball landed just bare. So Perconti finally ended the longest home run drought of any active player. But here's more. In the same inning of the same game, Fritz Connolly led Baltimore to victory with a grand slam. That gave Connolly 2 home runs this season, and both were grand slams. And how about that? Still more outlandish out-of-the-park doings in Cleveland, where switch hitter Willie Wilson helped Kansas City romp over the Indians with the first left-handed home run out of the park in his 10-year career. But you know what? He's hit 10 inside the Parkers from the left side. More big bat sounds came from Detroit's Darrell Evans, who's supposed to hit home runs, but 4 in 4 straight games? Now that's pleasing the crowd. And so concludes our list of long ball oddities. Now, check this out. No surprise that Minnesota scores a lot of runs. In fact, the Twins lead the majors. But get this. In their first 38 games, they outscored their opponents 34-12 in the very first inning. Yet in the 9th inning, the opposite is true. Take a look. The Twins are on top in the first by almost 3-1, but in the 9th, they're down by nearly the same ratio. So what does it all mean? Well, for Minnesota's opponents, it means don't give up in the 9th inning. It may not be too late. For the Twins, it means feast in the first and famine in the 9th.
Belted deep in left field. Back is Hatcher. It is grand salami time. The Mariners win it 8-7.
Oh, you know, baseball sure is a funny game. Hey, watch him fly. California's Gary Pettis leads the American League with 22 stolen bases. And going back to last season, he has 24 in a row. Davey Lopes of the Chicago Cubs was caught stealing by the Braves, ending a streak of 33 straight going back to last year. 5 shy of the Major League record Lopes himself set with the Dodgers. Now, for this week's quiz, can you name the 2 men who share the American League record for consecutive steals? Stay tuned for 2 active players. League report. 3 teams sailing along in the West. All signs in San Diego indicate a loose and confident club that's determined to tee off on the rest of the league.
Whenever we go into other ballparks, you know, it's written up in the paper that we're the National League champs, we're coming to town, so it gets a bigger crowd out, so therefore it pumps the other team up a little more. So I think everybody tries to play their best against the champs. I know when the shoe was on the other foot, I always tried to play the best against the champs.
It's been a little tougher for us, but I think the experience that we got last year, we expect from ourselves to come out and play better baseball and expect to be National League champions again.
To repeat, the Padres will need Andy Hawkins to keep posting impressive numbers. With a record of 8 wins and no losses, Hawkins is an improved pitcher this year following a standout postseason performance in 1984.
The experience that I had in the playoffs last year, you know, it's invaluable to me. You know, I've got so much confidence now. And it's just it's a whole new ballgame to me. I approach it differently. I feel differently when I'm out there. So, you know, I'm just a different pitcher now.
Goose Gossage looks like his old formidable self. With a league-leading 11 saves and an ERA well below 3, he's helped put San Diego on top in the West, while making believers out of those who thought the Goose was cooked.
I think he's answered all the critics. He's worked harder than ever this offseason, and he's pitched as well as he ever has. So that's Goose for you. Anytime there's a challenge, he rises to the occasion.
Kevin McReynolds has been on the rise with a 15-game hitting streak. Also, 6 game-winning RBIs, including home run number 5 to beat the New York Mets and hand Dwight Gooden only his second loss. Tony Gwynn won the league batting title last year with a .351 average. This year, he's still above 300, but it's been tough going nonetheless.
I think that over the first 2 months, he's seen less good pitches. They're pitching him in a certain pattern, not giving him too much to hit. And it's really a credit to him for him to be around 300 with what he's seen.
Greg Nettles was seeing the ball just fine against Montreal, going 4 for 4 in one game as the Padres took 2 out of 3. The 4th base hit for the 40-year-old Nettles was also career hit 2,000. Hey, that's one way to double your pleasure. Right, Greg?
It feels good. Anytime I get 4 hits in a game is good. And, you know, to get hit number 2,000, you know, Pete Rose thought he had just Ty Cobb to worry about. Now I'm creeping up.
Well, the Padres have Houston creeping up on them. The Astro offense has at times been written off, but they got on the stick against St. Louis, 19 runs and 33 hits in 3 games. Jose Cruz kept on cruising with 26 hits in 17 games to raise his average near 350. With 6 hits against St. Louis, the Cruz missile helped Houston take 2 out of 3. And Jose's hitting is equaled by his spirit.
Jose is like a kid. He loves to play the game, and he hates to get out of the lineup. He's mad when you take him out of the lineup to give him a rest. He doesn't want to rest. He wants to play every day, and he wants to get some hits. And he's in the top 10, and he just seems to get better with age.
Denny Walling drove the Cardinals up the wall with 4 hits in 2 games, improving his average to 345. In the last game, Jim Pankovich went 4 for 5 with 1 of 3 Houston homers, the 3rd time in a week that the Astros blasted 3 homers in 1 game. Houston fans also celebrated their pitching. Nolan Ryan picked up his 3rd win and gave notice that the Ryan Express is still on track. 6 strikeouts in 8 2/3 innings for the all-time strikeout leader. In Game 3, Ron Mathis made off with a win to go 3-1 as Houston moved to within a game of first place. But when it comes to relief, the Astros look to bullpen stopper Dave Smith. With 4 wins, 6 saves, and an ERA close to 1, Smith has been putting on a first-rate finishing touch. At Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh, the last-place Pirates made plans to clean up on Cincinnati, but instead, the red-hot Reds applied the polish. Player-manager Pete Rose wrapped out 4 hits in the series to lift his average to a rosy 290, still blooming at age 44. Alan Nicely also added a nice touch at the plate. 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the opener as the Reds won it 6-3, improving their road record to a league-best 10-8. Cincinnati put the Pirate hitters away thanks to a strong outing by John Stuper, who got the win and improved his record to 5-2. In Game 2, Rose was resting easy because rookie Tom Browning was in command, reducing his ERA to 1.70 while picking up his first career shutout. Starring at the plate, veteran Dave Parker, who blistered the Bucks with 7 for 11 in the 3-game series, raising Parker's average to a robust 350, giving him 25 RBIs in 17 games. Yes, indeed, the venomous cobra can still strike with a bite that makes opponents recoil.
When Dave Parker is in uniform and between the white lines, no one in the league plays any harder. He plays hard when he's injured, he plays hard when he's healthy, and he's a gamer. I mean, it's the best way to describe it. He's a winner and he's a gamer.
I think we both play a similar style of baseball, and that's all out. I think every time that we're between the lines, we both give 110%. And the respect that I have for Pete, and I feel that Pete has for me, I think it's the makings for a great working relationship.
Cincinnati was working well in Game 3 with Mario Soto picking up win number 6 for a spotless career record of 8-0 in Pittsburgh. As for the Reds, a sweep of the Bucks and 5 straight wins overall moved them to within striking distance of first place. Now, let's review this week in baseball's twib notes from around the National League. Reliever Tom Niedenfuhr of the Dodgers had no trouble hitting the spot against Philadelphia in 2 1/3 innings. In fact, he was too sharp. He retired 7 batters, all on strikeouts, but it didn't do Niedenfuhr or the Dodgers much good because the Phillies, who didn't strike out, got 2 hits and 2 runs off the right-hander, who was charged with the 7-5 loss. Things just haven't gone well for Los Angeles this season, especially in the field. In their first 39 games, the Dodgers committed 50 errors, most in the majors. San Francisco's Mark Davis is one hurler who sticks with a good thing. Against the Mets, he threw 23 breaking pitches in a row. Davis got the win and struck out 3 to lead all big league relievers with 40 strikeouts. A nice break for the last-place Giants. Kansas City outfielder Willie Wilson and Chicago White Sox second baseman Julio Cruz share the American League record for consecutive steals with 32. Cruz played for Seattle when he ran up his streak over 2 seasons from 1980 to 1981. Wilson stole 79 bases in 1980, and during that season went 2 months without being caught for an identical stretch of 32 steals in a row. Hey, man, got a swelled head? Feeling heads above the rest? Well, get into a new head as we head into hilarious headliners. This heady stuff can turn a player's head inside out. But even though baseball can sometimes mess up your mind, it's best not to lose your head over it. Hey, fans, heads up. Man alive, enough of these head-spinning antics. Time to head on out of here. But keep your head on straight for some heads-up plays that will knock you out. Major League Mind Blowers. Up first, Baltimore Oriole Mike Boddicker. St. Louis Cardinal Ozzie Smith. The Mets Rafael Santana. Atlanta Brave Rafael Ramirez. Seattle Mariner Dave Henderson. Pittsburgh's George Hendrick. Cleveland's Brett Butler. Baltimore's Rich Dower. Bill Doran, Houston Astros. Kansas City's Frank White. Montreal's Stan Dreesen. York met Keith Hernandez. Met teammate Howard Johnson holding down the hot corner. Texas Ranger Toby Harrah with a barehander. The White Sox Scott Fletcher. And finally, Kirby Puckett on a twin killing with Mark Salas at the plate. Now it's time for an Old Spice salute, brought to you by 24-hour strong Old Spice deodorant and antiperspirant. This week, Old Spice salutes Pete Rose of the Reds. Against the Cubs, the ageless wonder hammered his first home run in 3 years, scoring career run number 2,107, tying him with Henry Aaron for the National League record. 2 games later, Pete scored the record-breaking run, adding yet another milestone with more to come in a marvelous ongoing career. Congratulations, Pete. And that's all for now, folks. See you next week on This Week in Baseball.